Happy Friday! Man, we survived the week. What a challenge it's been. But it's been pretty exciting too. A lot of things been happening. So, we're going to dive in today. We're going to have some fun, talk about what happened on your week. But first of all, I want to say congratulations. You made it. Now it's smooth sailing, at least for a couple days. So, let's enjoy the time while we can. See who we got in the audience tonight. Wow, we got a bunch of people floating in. We got Smiley there. Hi, Smiley. How you doing, dear? Good to see ya. Jay Steen, my man. Good to see you, brother. And, of course, Glenn Shelton still hasn't changed her ID. We didn't fix that. Shame on us. There you go. Brittany, my dear, there you are. So thankful it's Friday. Man, I hear you, dear. It has been a crazy week. Today, I actually tried to get some videos made, and after about 20 minutes, I'm like, yeah, nope, I'm done. I left. I was going to hurt myself. You know, one of those days you sit in a corner and play with something soft? That was today. Yeah. So, Connor McCool, brother, how you doing, my man? Good to see you in here. So, Smiler, I finished the second book of the fourth wing, and there's not a third one out yet. Oh, that is so harsh. So, distraught by the cliffhanger and no way to see what happens next. Oh, Smiley, that's evil. You let somebody start a book without the last one? Ooh, did you at least warn him? That's cold. And, Red High's past Friday physics and chem. Ooh, yes. Man, we got a whole conversation. You guys are having a party before I even got here. So, as you know, here at Freaky Friday, we try to forget the day-to-day work. We try to have some fun. So, now that you're home, why don't you do me a favor? Kick off your shoes. Stay a while. You got nowhere to go. Bar's always open. Pour yourself a drink. Better yet, make it two. We're going to be here a while. And of course, as always, we have snacks, we have smokes, we have everything you could possibly want. More importantly, we got some amazing people. So, let's get this party started and bring some of these people up. Now, it wouldn't be a party without some amazingly beautiful half-dressed girls. I got some half-naked girls back there. Does that count? Yeah. Let's bring up the lovely Miss Wild Angel. How you doing, love?
Hi, guys. It's actually warm enough out there. I had to take the sleeves off.
Okay. I was going to put you on the big screen like, hey, we got half-naked girls. Woohoo! I'm excited.
Yeah, no, it's actually warm in here, too. Might have to get a little fan going.
It is warm in here. I put the fan to block the doggy door so Chloe doesn't bother you. Hopefully it'll work out good.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. So how was your week? Did you survive?
Yes, and I'm actually in a good place. Despite killing a spreadsheet so bad, I had to start from scratch and recreate it and repost 2,500 filings. I did. I don't know how I did it, but I had duplicates and it was doing funky things. But I think we're now a week ahead.
Nice job. So even with the train wreck, you still made advanced progress. That's great.
I got to credit it to my new guy in second seat that is just killing it. I got to give him credit.
Nice.
Hi, Rose.
Congratulations. New guy, you're doing awesome. Keep rocking. She stays happy. I stay breathing.
Trying to get him to come in, but he's between his kid and everything. He's just kind of busy.
Hey, he's got no excuse. Britt's in here doing her chemistry. So,
I'm taking it easy at the end of this week.
Right,
I'm chilling tonight.
Look at that. Wolf whistles. Woohoo! Yeah. You know it, Rose. I agree totally. In fact, I was telling her this last night. It's like, I'm so proud of you. You're like a 20-year-old girl. And at first, she was going to hit me. And I'm like, no, you look 20 years old. You have the energy of a 20-year-old girl. I mean, all the way around, you're just amazing. So I tried to compliment her, and I almost got killed for it last night. It was really close to death.
So if I'm kind of ignoring you guys, I'm not. I am trying to get switched over to the other account, but I can't remember my password.
Oh, okay. Well, you figured that out. Yeah, and Britt says truth. Yeah. Hey, if she can do chemistry and still be here, there is no excuse. I mean, unless you're like flying an airplane or something, or open heart surgery maybe. That's really about it. After that, there's no excuse. Come on in. Let's have some fun.
Well, starting in June, I'm going to be doing macroeconomics and business law. I might be sitting here talking business law, so.
That doesn't sound like any fun at all.
It's required. I have 6 classes left, and I'm done.
All right.
Hey, Ashley.
Welcome to the party. Good to have you with us tonight. Smiley says, hi, Ashley. So, of course, it wouldn't be a party with just 2. We got to bring the rest of the gang up here. So, it's never a party without the wild man, Mr. Cyril Kier. How you doing, buddy?
I'm wild?
Wow.
It's not usually the way I'm described.
Give it about an hour, you will be.
I got it.
Yes. You guys are in luck tonight because you actually have me here at full 100% mental cognizance, which is not something that usually occurs on a Friday evening
Oh
because
my God.
I had a meeting right before this. And so I only am just now getting to the happy juice.
Woohoo! Let the juices flow, baby! Aha!
Which fun little fact for you, because it wouldn't be a Freaky Friday without a fun fact. One of the ways I love bothering my wife is to walk around the house with a very full glass and do this, right? Because if you do not watch the cup as you're moving it, your body will naturally not spill a drop.
Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna go dance through the house. I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's my dad used to, because I used to bring him coffee and I'd be like staring at the cup and I'd spill half the cup.
Right.
And he's always, don't look at it, just stop and relax. And when you're not looking at it, yeah.
Oh, I pay attention to that. So, hey, Abdul, good to see you, buddy. I beat you in here this time. Woohoo! I was first. It's a race to who can get in the server quickest. I love it.
Last to get your computer running, right?
Yeah, no kidding. That was horrible. The thing is evil. I swear to God. I think it's because I was playing in the meme coin world today. We won't talk about it. Did pretty well, but yeah. Let's see. And Ash says, we'll be here, but it's hospital with my son and trying to finish up his treatment. So hi and thank you for having it. Absolutely. Well, I hope the treatment goes well, Ashley, and our prayers and our love are with you, and we'll keep you company through the whole thing. So
it worked.
what the hell just happened?
It wasn't asking for my Google sign in. It was asking for my YouTube password. So it
took you, what, 2 weeks to sign into your own YouTube account? It's a new record, I think. So, Ashley will stick by you, dear. Hang out. We're going to have some fun. But, of course, we can't make you the third wheel there, Cyril. So, we got you a double date. He's a little furrier than you are.
Date. Wait, over this way.
Yeah, other way. How's it going, Crow?
Doing good. Doing real good.
That's really weird. That door behind you, I keep waiting for it to swing open like this ghost figure comes out because it's glowing. That's pretty cool, actually.
It's a door both ways, or is it barn doors?
I don't know. It's kind of possessed looking there, though.
Is
It's
that
two
two
separate
doors that
doors.
close?
Nope.
Or is it one door that opens two different ways?
Two separate. That's the door to my bathroom, and that's the door to my living room.
Oh,
Gotcha, okay. All I could think of was that animated series. Can I go into the out now? Which is the in, which is the out?
That's called Home.
Yes, home. Thank you.
And it's initially a movie, but yes, they did make a series about it, and the series is good. It's
Is it?
similar vein to the movie, not quite as emotional. It's a little more lighthearted, but
Okay.
also good.
Nice. I will have to check that out.
Oh,
Smiley
no,
says,
it's-
"Hi, Crow."
Yeah, yeah.
So, Crow, how was that book anyway, man? Man, that's rough.
I developed a really bad habit while reading it. I would come home after work and I would sit there for an hour or two and read it. And then Jim would hop on freaking Call of Duty, so we'd sit there and play games. And then we'd get off the game, and it's like 10 o'clock at night, and I would go back to the book. Which isn't bad, except when you don't know how much time is going by, and then you look at the clock, it's 2 in the morning, you gotta be up in 3 hours.
Right?
You're young. You'll sleep when you're dead. That's what I always used to say.
Or once you're older than 30.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what really happened to me. I used to say that. Now I'm 50, and now I just sit and I sleep. Dead.
Yep. Fall asleep anytime, anywhere.
Yep. That's okay. I want to go peacefully in my sleep, not screaming like all the passengers in my car.
No, you're going to get smothered.
That could be too. I'll still peacefully in my sleep. I'm okay with that. Says, hates you go, love to watch you leap. Aw. Rose is flirting with you, Wild Angel. Where is Rose? I know she got an invite. Come on up here, girl.
Come on, Rose. I need company.
Rose,
They're ganging
Rose,
up on me
Rose.
tonight.
Rose.
Hi, Justine.
JC, my man. That's a good book. I want to get one in Audible while I drive. I have Audible cred. Ooh, there you go.
It depends
See,
what
Jason,
kind
I
of
listen to
books you like.
audiobooks while I sleep. I can't sleep without listening to the Wheel of Time series. I can't. Weird.
Yeah, we're the 4th time through 13 books.
Yeah, it's like 6 years.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Jason says, hello. It's a good. Oh, Ender's Game. Yes. I've seen the movie. I've still got to watch the books. Or watch the books. Read the books. Let's try that.
Did you read the movie and watch the book?
Yeah,
we
something
bought
like that.
somewhere. Crow, did we buy you that for Christmas?
Yes. You bought me the
Yes,
first
we did.
4, 5, somewhere around there.
He watches books. He watches them sitting on a shelf.
Right. Yeah, they sit right there. I watch them all the time.
He watches them do tricks. Sometimes
Exactly.
they fall over if somebody bumps the wall hard enough.
Then I get angry for them messing around in my office. Yeah. It's like, no, those books are valuable. Don't be messing with books. Yes, Britt, Wheel of Time. You know it. That is my absolute favorite series of all time.
The Icarus Hunt is by Timothy Zahn. He typically writes like Star Wars novels, but this is not a Star Wars novel. It's actually a really enjoyable read, and you won't see the plot twist coming. And you're going to wind up having to reread like the last 10 pages of the book probably 2 or 3 times before it fully sinks in, and you're like, oh, that makes sense.
That's the best kind of plot twists.
Those are fun.
When you don't know what's coming.
And Smile Girl says, I love Stephen King's Fairy Tale. I don't think I've read that one. That was the last for a long drive. Now, see, that's a funny thing, because my youngest son is named Gage after Pet Sematary. When I read the book when I was 15, I swore my first son would be named Gage. Because, yeah, my kid's evil. And, of course, he's the sweet child. Yeah, I should have named the other ones evil names. Ooh, Munchie time.
Another good book, Jay Steen, is Mistborn. It's a series. It's 3 books. It's really good. Brian Sanders.
Brandon
Brandon
Sanderson.
Thank you.
Yep. Same one who finished the Wheel of Time series after Robert Jordan passed away.
Scythe by Neil Shusterman. That's a really good book.
I'm hoping that I can find somebody that he can handle listening to, because maybe as soon as he finishes Mistborn, maybe I can get him to listen to something else for a while.
Depends on who the reader is.
That's what I said.
Yes. And Britt says favorite book is Atlas Shrugged. Never heard
Tell
of that.
us
Who writes
about
that,
Britt?
Yeah. And while you're typing that in, we got somebody else just snuck backstage. Mr. Braden, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, shoot.
What's up, dude?
You put your mic down.
Yeah, your audio is muted.
Can't hear you.
There you are.
Hello?
Hey.
Okay, we got you now.
Okay,
Welcome to the party.
Yeah. It's been a while. A week.
Been a whole
We gotta
week,
play
I
some
know.
more. Gotta play some more Helldivers.
We do. That's if Crow stops vanishing on me. A couple nights he just stood me up. Never even showed up. How rude.
How rude.
I got home and I don't even know what happened. All I know is I woke up and my feet were facing one way, my head was facing the other way, and I was passed out.
If your feet and your head are facing the same way, that's usually bad. So I say that's a good thing, really.
Well, instead of like when I'm starting to fall asleep, I grab my feet and put them on the couch. That way I'm actually laying on the couch. I end up going the exact opposite way and putting them off the armrest.
Works in a love seat. Okay, why not?
Got a little turned around in your sleep, I suppose.
Exactly.
It happens. Must have been a wild dream. So, got a lot of books coming through. I like this. So, read Hyperion?
Yes,
I don't-
it's a very good book. It's like Wheel of Time, but I think better.
No.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know where Braden went. He just disconnected. It was accident. I don't know what happened. How dare you say that about Wheel of Time? Ugh, them fighting words, boy.
I've
I'm
read
not
all the
Reddit.
Wheel of Times, and the single book of Hyperion I think is better.
Oh, I got to read this just to compare.
He's actually met
Also-
the author face to face before he passed, of course. But
Right. Yeah, that was a fun trip. Ooh, guess who I got hiding? Never guess
Is
who just
it-
snuck in.
Is it Rose?
Can't
Smiley?
tell. She hold on. Okay, she's putting her clothes on now. Yes, it is Rose. How you doing,
Hi,
Rose?
Rose.
Hello, hello.
Thank you for saving me from the crazy men.
I know it's a bit of a sausage fest.
I know, right?
It was, yes. How's your week been, Rose?
Good for the most part.
Is it over, hopefully? You got a whole weekend off?
Yes, finally.
Right. Pour yourself a drink, sit back, relax, and make Cyril Gill get his own drinks. He's fine.
Have my drink.
I mean, I just caught him
Oh.
sitting there with a cigarette off to the side that was lit, and then he was smoking one. And I'm like, did you mean to leave this off to the side? He's like, oh.
And he's still sober. Go
I
figure.
know, right?
Yeah, wait till I have like 4 smoking. I used to do that all the time, my ashtray.
Yeah, no, what happened is I set it over here on the to this side, which is not where I normally set it, and then I forgot it was there. And that's why I had 2 cigarettes for a brief period of time.
That happens. I do that all the time when I was gaming. I would light a cigarette and then set it down, and then I'd keep gaming, then I'd grab my cigarettes, light another one, set it down. I'd have 3 smoking at the same time. I'd go to grab another one. Then the wife would yell at me, she's like, what are you doing? I was like, what? Oh, oops, my bad.
Dude, there's times I'm sitting here with a cigarette in my hand and I don't even think about it, and I pick up my vape and hit my vape, and I'm just like, what am I doing?
So I
Vaping is better for you.
helped a guy move out today, and he's been telling me for like a couple months because I know the guy. He's like, yeah, I quit vaping. I was like, oh, congratulations, dude. That's awesome. Like, good on you. And we were driving to his new place because I was hoping to move, and he pulls out a can of chew and starts putting some dip in his mouth. And I was like,
That's worse.
I looked at him like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm not quitting nicotine. I'm just quitting vaping. I was like, so you swapped one bad habit for another?
A worse habit, by far.
Oh yeah. So, you know, I decided earlier today to give up smoking for good. Now I only smoke for evil.
Oh, good man. I like that. I've never heard that one. That's a good one. I used to have a bumper sticker on my toolbox at work when I was turning wrenches. It said, harassing me about my smoking could be hazardous to your health. And I was very hostile back then, so it was very true.
Back then? No, I'm just kidding.
Good point, yeah. Believe it or not, I'm mellowed. Isn't that a scary thought?
Oh.
So Ashley says, I slept on the hospital couch, half on his hospital bed last night. Weird slept the best something. That is weird, but I'm glad you got some sleep. So I'm sorry that you had to sleep in the hospital, but either way, hey, our prayers are with you and all is good. So stick it with us here. And yes, try to get...
Ha. Rose
What?
just got crow.
Rose, what?
Rose got crow just now.
What did
It
I
was-
miss?
It was Smiley actually commenting on Rose.
It says, my game is in... Interesting.
No, back up 2 comments, Serenity. There you go. Because tagline under her name on Restream, like if you unpin comments, you'll be able to see it.
Oh, I didn't even see
Oh,
that.
okay, you've lost the... Okay. Gotcha. I'm like, what are we talking... Over my head, I was lost. Brayden looks lost too. He's like, huh? What the hell? Yeah,
Oh,
I'm the same way, man.
The game hasn't spread to Brazil? Or, wait, where? Ecuador?
El Salvador.
El Salvador.
It hasn't.
One of
It
those.
hasn't. No.
Thank God.
All right, so
Actually, I do know that game.
you know the
From when I was
game?
Yeah, I do know the game, and now I've lost the game, and so do you.
Yep. Yep. It looks like Wild Angel, who has her audio muted, by the way, was shaking her head in like, I have no idea what you're talking
What are you
about.
talking
So
about?
now she's gonna learn.
Oh, no.
So the game.
I tried posting the meme picture that like explains it all, but it's like comment has failed to post. So
Well,
Yeah,
You can't
I
post
didn't know.
anything to
I think
YouTube comments.
one can do that.
Put it in the private. I can share it.
okay, yeah.
It's quite simple. Now that you're aware of the game, you lose it by thinking about it. If you think about the game, or if anyone says anything that makes you think about the game, you have to announce out loud, dang it, I've lost the game, thus causing everyone else who is also playing the game because they've been stuck thinking about it to also lose the game. There is no way to win it. You are playing it forever now. You can't not play it because you're aware of it, kind of like Christianity.
That was good.
Shit, did I say it out loud?
I did your thing.
Yeah, same mechanics. So now that you're aware of the game, you're playing it and you've lost, unfortunately. And just try not to think about it, because whenever you do think about it, you lose it.
Gotcha. Well, actually, you know
Don't
what?
lose your shit.
I might be the very first person to win this game because my attention span is like 12.2 seconds. So ask me a minute from now, I won't have a clue what the hell you're talking about. Works good.
Hey, I got a really kind of stupid dad St. Patty's Day joke.
Let's hear it.
How old are leprechauns?
Ooh, hold on. And you said this is a dad joke and it's a little
guess.
messed up?
It's a leap year can. You got me.
All right, go for it.
I don't know, but definitely old enough to remember when rainbows were black and white.
That's fair.
Well, yeah,
I go-
because
I got one
they've been
for you.
around. They've been around long enough to before color television.
Right.
Right.
They're old enough.
Lucky
I don't
Charms.
know how old they are, but they remember black and white.
That's back
Sorry.
when there were 2D drawings. That's pretty bad.
I got told that at one of my works somewhere. I don't remember.
So,
That joke's
Today-
kind of like my soda, a little flat.
yeah, mine too. I get no bubbles. No
Rose,
bubbles.
I
in
love
my-
your giggle, by the way.
A little more pause between the giggles and it turns evil. I'm sure Cyril's heard that.
Yes.
He's like, oh yeah. He starts cringing. He's like, oh god, no.
Usually when he hears that, he just kind of looks at me and starts asking questions, and I just kind of sneak away giggling, going, "Don't ask questions.
Where's
you
the
don't
body?"
wanna know."
Right?
Do you want to hide a body?
I do that frequently too.
One Piece.
Hey, can I show off my latest Wild Angel creation?
Yes, absolutely.
Actually,
We'll put
it's
you on the
just-
Jumbotron.
It's the start of a whole series, and they're actually inspired. They're the start of my Save the Animals series. They're keychains.
Oh, piggy!
There's a little piggy. He even has a curly tail.
Oink, oink.
And this one is, I was watching Alex's live stream. This one's Kyle, the fighting rooster.
Right?
And then I called Kyle Henry on accident. And so, of course, I had to make a Henry.
Oh my god.
It's epic. And I love Henry. Henry's awesome.
Henry, I think, is my favorite of the birds, other than Godric and Martin.
I like Henry. He's got that attitude.
He does.
Henry's my favorite.
But yeah, it's the start of the series. I'm going to make a demo of each one, and then I can start putting them out.
Nice.
And then you have to crochet a little barn for them all. So you have to collect them all and then put them in the little barn.
I have farmers to go with them too.
And see, what you do is right before you close them up is you slip a little NFC chip in there that links to a unique certificate of authenticity.
That lives on the blockchain.
Right, of course. That way, people can't be like, "Oh, look, I have a Wild Angels keychain," just because they found the same pattern and also crocheted it.
Right.
Can't happen. Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, cats and dogs, and I saw BTK sneak in here. But he's not on stage. BTK, where you at, brother? Come on up.
Hi, Moss's Manny. Thanks for coming.
Moss
Welcome to
Man!
Freaky Friday.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome to the party. And by the way, Wild Angel, Moss Manny is the one, I believe, who won the Wiggle Off last night.
The wiggle off?
The wiggle.
We had
off.
too
Yeah,
many people for a
dance off.
dance off.
Oh, okay.
So we did a wiggle off, and he's the only one that dodged all the saw blades. It was pretty gruesome. If you guys missed it, definitely go back and watch last night's Freaky Friday or Rags to Riches.
One of the
It's a
two.
lot of fun.
One of the two.
Yeah, something like that.
Watch
I
them
put them
both.
together.
Watch them all.
Yeah, watch them all back to back, because that's where you're going to find out about what's going on in the crypto world. And we covered the Dan Kuhn update for Ethereum. My brain still hurts after that one.
That we did. I was very interested, I will say, and that's probably why I'm not playing Helldivers right now, actually, about the topic that the people voted for us to talk about tonight.
Yes, this can be a fun one because it's AAA. So you've been to AA. Well, this is the next level. This is Aliens, Armageddon, or AI, or all the above.
Don't they all feed into one another?
They kind of do. But, I just heard something really interesting. Now, for those who don't know, Brittany, her brother Brandon, my nephew, is graduating to become a doctor here very soon. And I just had a realization that in April 8th, I believe it is, there's going to be a solar eclipse, and Oklahoma will be completely pitch black. I think that's real close to his graduation time, but I'm not sure. But I started thinking about it. Wouldn't that suck? You're in the middle of the graduation, and it's like, yes, please present the new doctors that are going to usher in the new era, and then God turns off the lights? Can you imagine what that's like? Yep, lights out!
Dude, I would definitely keep track of that graduating class and make sure they never operated on me. That's for sure. That's a bad open.
It's funny. April 8th is my birthday.
Oh, great. Nice knowing you,
That's
Crow.
why the aliens are coming.
Right.
Makes sense.
Oh, it's the week before. Okay.
You're like, this specimen is perfectly ripe. We are going to come and get him on this day.
I thought about, if you think about the lunar eclipse, or solar eclipse, sorry, that would be a perfect time for them to land. Under the cover of darkness, they just slide right in. Yeah.
Sliding into our DMs.
Yeah, I know I intend to. So it's going to be about a 6-hour drive, but I intend to take my daughter to see Totality. Because Totality is something that you want to experience at least once in your life. It's the thin region that gets completely covered by the moon on the Earth's surface, and no sunlight hits it at all. In the span of like a couple of seconds, like 30 seconds, the temperature drops like 20 degrees because it thinks it's night. All of the animals go dead silent. It's just, sometimes crickets will even start chirping because they think it's nighttime. And it's just a unique experience. And so we're going to go drive to see it because it's the only time it's going to pass anywhere near us. And the path, it comes up the U.S., starts from like, I think Texas, goes up across, it goes like through all those states, goes through Ohio, the topmost upper left corner of Pennsylvania, it goes into New York, like across, it basically goes right across Lake Erie. And apparently it looks like we'll be meeting up with Austin while we're there.
It does look that way, yeah. And whoops, get rolling in. So hi, Austin, man. I know you got an invite to hop on up here. It's kind of funny that the totality of darkness is going across the Lake Erie.
Ooh, and if you took all the water out of Lake Erie, it would completely cover North and South America with a foot of water. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah,
That's how deep the lake is. It's insane.
Wow.
Perfect place to hide a spaceship.
Yes, it includes Canada.
And a few bodies.
A few bricks, some chain, problem solved. Later.
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me if it did
yeah.
evaporate or go away, that they'd find quite a bit down there. Hey, maybe they'd find Capone. Sorry.
He ain't dead. He just went home.
Yep. I know that a lot of the things that we attribute to like UFOs, or I'm sorry, the new term is UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon. And a lot of it can be attributed to secret tech that the U.S. government's been working on, right? That they've had. There was this one guy who used to work in like a top secret part of one of those research bases, and while he was like basically on his deathbed, they recorded an interview with him, and he started talking about a lot of the stuff he saw there. And he was saying that they took him into this room that very few people are aware of what's inside, and in there was technology that we had that was so advanced you wouldn't think it's something humans have or that humans created, right? He said looking at it and watching the way it operated, it seemed otherworldly. So when you consider that they don't release technology to us until it's way outdated, I mean, the internet existed back in the 80s, right? But it didn't even become really publicly used until like near the end of the 80s. But they had versions of it for intra-communication networks and everything way before then, right?
Yep.
All the tech that we have, they've carefully collected tech that would be considered disruptive, and then they develop it in secret, but they don't introduce it to the market because it would destroy certain industries. I have no doubt that we use gyroscopic energy to essentially make machines fly, right? Electromagnetic field technology, all of that. I wouldn't be surprised if we have it. It's just think of all the industries that would completely wreck if we did, right?
Yeah, a lot of big businesses. And, you know, it's funny you mentioned that because, in fact, I bet Miss Brittany already knows the story. So my brother served in the Air Force, and years ago, we're talking the late 90s, I think is when it was, he was working as a scope operator late one night and had a blip pop up on his radar screen. And it moved across the screen so quickly, he calculated the speed out later at in excess of Mach 15. It's like, okay, that's just not physically possible. Here's the fun part. It had a military transponder code. He was ordered to ignore it.
Ooh.
Yeah. The tech is
even like the SR-71, I don't think I'm going to Google on this. SR
Mach 3.2, if I remember right, is what it is published.
3.3.
3.3,
Yeah.
Okay.
So for it to be going Mach 15, I mean,
Somebody was testing something.
Right.
either that or they were running from their ex-wife. But damn, that's fast. Like
It
at
was,
those
and-
speeds, I don't think you realize what air resistance does to materials at that
Right.
speed, even metal or ceramics at that speed.
Exactly. And that's the fun part is like, okay, at first, technical glitch, things like that. But if you get a military transponder code and it's moving across that, because you can measure it on the scope, you can calculate it out. It's really easy math. You know, speed of sound is what, 672 miles an hour at sea level? 677, I think it is. You start doing the math there. It's like, man, that's insane speeds. And then you start talking about the UFO sightings, like the tech you're talking. Yeah, we've got it. We've been testing it out for a long time. They just don't want us to know.
To put it into perspective for people, Mach 15 is 10,005 miles an hour.
Holy shit.
Stupid speed. That's where metal melts. Everything melts.
Yeah. Because
Yes.
of the friction.
Right. Air friction.
However, it's not the fastest man-made object.
No.
How many of
What
you
is?
know what the fastest man-made object is?
Oh God, I've heard it before.
I would say it's got to be something that travels in space.
Well, it does now.
Okay.
It was like
Okay, So the fastest man-made object is way outside of our solar system now, but it was a manhole cover that weighed several tons, and it covered the top of an underground nuclear silo that they did an underground nuclear detonation test in to see what that would be like, right? They did not expect the manhole cover to leave the stratosphere at Mach Jesus, but it did. And they had a 10,000 frame per second or higher, I forget which, camera that basically was monitoring it because they were trying to capture a nuclear explosion, which happens in a billionth of a second, right?
Right.
They only caught a piece of the edge at the top of the frame of the manhole cover on this ultra high speed camera. That's how fast it was moving. It was calculated out. I'm going to Google to this. Top speed of the manhole cover was moving at 125,000 miles per hour.
Holy crap.
How did it not vaporize? That's insane.
It was moving too fast to do so. So when an object is moving above a certain speed, closer to the speed of light, we'll say 90% the speed of light, which is significantly faster than 125,000 miles an hour, there's this neat little thing that occurs with the air particles. They do not have an opportunity to get out of the way of the object. So the air particles build up in front of whatever's moving, and a literal vacuum forms behind it. And the air molecules in front of an object that's moving at 90% the speed of light undergo nuclear fission because so many of them are being packed into such a small spot because they just keep getting condensed because it's moving so fast. So what winds up occurring is these nuclear explosions at the front of it, directed away from it because it's moving too fast for it to be affected by them, right? But the air resistance at the outer edges is more, and so it will basically sandblast whatever's moving and ultimately completely deteriorate it. And the explosions actually will slow down the object, but not enough. Yeah, so it's a very clever way to annihilate pretty much whatever is in front of it.
That's going to start our alien invasion right there.
I was just about to say that.
These aliens are cruising along. They get hit with a manhole cover one day. They're like, oh, fuck this. We're going after those guys. Throw a manhole cover at me.
Probably stamped on there, made in the USA, so they know where he's got to come kick.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Let's go find these guys. And
think about it, though. Knowing that, and if that manhole cover, let's say if it had impacted with the moon, it probably would have cracked the moon with how fast it was moving. Similar to how a grain of sand-sized particle just orbiting the Earth, if it impacts with a satellite, completely obliterates it. Like they've aluminum this thick, grain of sand hits it, vaporized, right? It's intense. But think about that for a second. Why would we would never know if aliens declared war with us. We would just be gone. Okay. If they have the capacity to travel across the stars, they have the capacity to speed an object up. Rod of God, right? You know, you get a core of depleted uranium, wrap some tungsten around it, propel it at, 0.0001 C at the speed of light, and it would just vaporize the planet, and we would never even detect it coming.
No, we wouldn't. It'd be a falling object. Like, okay, done, gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just all of a sudden wake up. It's like, hey, guess what? World's gone. Have a nice day. Thank you for playing our game. You lose.
So I don't get why people are so afraid that the aliens might be nefarious. If they were nefarious,
We
it
beat
wouldn't
them
be our
already.
problem anymore.
Just look at Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where like one guy or a couple guys get beamed into space, and then Earth gets destroyed.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't forget
And,
your towel.
Exactly. And Brittany corrected me. It was the early 90s. Yes. And she has heard the story. And yeah, it's not one of these weird things I make up, but yeah, strange things occur. And
That's
now-
actually the first time I've heard about that.
oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm sure Braden has some pretty cool stories. I mean, you've got to be seeing some weird things. You're down in the third world country flying around. You got to see some cool lights or something. Can't hear
You're
you.
muted.
Your mic's just back
Put-
up here
yeah.
again.
You need to put your mic down.
Yeah,
Hello.
Okay, I
Hello.
can hear a little bit now.
This mic doesn't control. It's not connected right now. It's my computer mic.
Oh.
Well, we can hear you great now.
Right.
Okay, yeah. So, I haven't heard or seen anything weird down here, but I went up to Alaska for one summer in like 2010, and there was some weird like, I don't know, it almost looked, it was the perfect line of just dots going across the sky. I think it was satellites or whatever you want to call it, but it was a line of lights that were perfectly distant from each other. None of them were closer or any further, and there was like 20 or 30 of them.
Now, could that be correlated to the whole SpaceX satellite thing that they were distributing at that time?
It could be, but I don't know if they were doing it in 2010.
I'll check.
Google.
That's why we got Cyril here. He'll let us know.
Yeah.
Google is our friend.
So,
As long as you're not
and
going from Google to WebMD, you're good.
there you go.
Right?
I refuse to
WebMD
look
is
on there.
not our friend.
Well, no, it always
Um,
says we're dying.
So, May 2019 was when they launched their first batch of 60 operational satellites. Their first 2 test satellites were launched February 2018. So, it wouldn't have been that, but it's not uncommon for telecommunication companies to basically put their satellites next to their satellites, because then they just all track this one region. Makes it a lot easier for the receivers. So it could have been that, but 30
Yeah.
seems a
Yeah.
bit much.
That sounds like an alien field trip to me, man.
Right?
See those things down there? Those are humans.
It's their school base. It's their school bus.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
All the
Just
little
going a
windows
nice
on their
chin.
school bus.
They point down, see, yeah, and we don't go there. That place all screwed up. Yeah, it's just a dirt ball. We're ignoring it for now. Later, we'll get around to cleaning it up. But yeah, we just walk. Keep walking. Don't
Yeah.
make eye contact.
They're killing themselves. They'll be done soon. Then we can colonize.
Exactly. Yeah, they're gonna melt the place anyway. It was nice
Yeah.
about 5,000 years ago. Now it's all screwed up.
Maybe.
Yeah, before they came, it was pretty nice. But when they started like digging the planet out and then melting that stuff, then that's kind of when it fell to shit.
Yeah.
Unless we were designed because we are here to terraform the planet to be more suitable of a climate for them.
Could be.
Because modern humans, I mean, we did kind of pop up out of nowhere. Yeah, I mean, the missing links and whatnot, it's a pretty big jump to get from them to us. It's almost like maybe the species was modified with a bigger brain, a better ability to copy what it sees, right? Because that's what separates us from the apes. You know, just kind of tweaked a few little things and then let us go about it because we are a precursor species. Think about it.
We're the original GMO.
There you go. And if you think about it, like the movie Pacific Rim, it talks about that. You know, they were here before the dinosaurs, but it wasn't ready yet. So they waited, and then now they're coming back to colonize. Well, essentially all they would have to do is say, we've got this species, like a virus. We're going to drop them on a planet. They're going to consume and destroy everything, terraform it for us, heat it up. It'll be great. Then we just land, we wipe them all out, hit the reset button, and there we go. We start again another planet.
Because we're used to carbon-based life, right? If a species evolved as a silicate-based life, which is possible, it would move and think in terms that are much longer than ours, right? Like a generation for them would be hundreds of thousands of years for us, because silica-based life would move much slower. Like we would identify it to be more akin to a rock or a boulder that slowly moves over time, right? So they would prefer a warm, rich environment with lots of metals near the surface. And guess what we've been doing? We've been digging up all the metals. We've been processing it all. We've been bringing it to the surface, you know. So by the time they get here, it would all be ready for them to just come, settle down, have a nice, happy meal. And they couldn't give a crap about organics because they can't even communicate with organics that are carbon-based life.
That's a good point. And, you know, if you think about it, I mean, maybe we're making them happy meals. Skyscraper? Yeah, that's just a side of fries right there. Who knows?
Yeah.
They just wanted their chicken nuggies.
Exactly.
I could see a book or a movie made about that, right? Because it's like we're constantly looking for signs of life as carbon, as what we would recognize it. You know, we're looking for carbon noise, the signals, the radio waves, blah, 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 blah. And if you have a silica-based life, they would simply vibrate to communicate and send out a frequency wave that we would just pick up as regular resonant frequency background noise, right? But that's how they would communicate, as similar to the way we vibrate quartz crystals to make it think. That's what your CPU is. It's just a little sliver of quartz crystal that we send electricity through. Like, you're telling me you can make a rock think by hitting it with volts? Come on. And yet you don't want to recognize that there could be other types of intelligences out there that we just can't comprehend.
Right. It's crazy. And Jason was suggesting a documentary, alien documentary. Talks about how aliens landed at school in Zimbabwe in 1994, and tons of kids have stories of what happened. They talked to the kids 28 years later. That does sound really cool. I'm going to have to check that one out.
I'm going to
Yeah,
watch
I wrote it down.
I'm going to watch that.
Yeah,
Probably,
that sounds really cool.
Probably at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
It's the best time to watch all those.
You know, I thought getting married was, you know, getting to share a bed with somebody for the rest of your life. No, it's waiting for them to come to bed at 4 a.m.
Or fighting over the bed when they do come to bed. Because, yeah, then it's fist fights like, get your butt.
Well, there's been many times I've fallen asleep on a slice of bed that's a little bit thinner than I am. But, you know, it's what happens. If you're coming to bed late, you take what's left.
Yep.
I understand that.
That's the rules. It's the way it works.
I'm not going to wake her up. I'm not going to bother her. You know, like I'm not going to tell her to move over. You know, if I came to bed late, I lost the right to claim space.
That sounds really good.
Learn something there, love.
Hell no. It's a fight. We won't get into that. That's a whole different class of domestic violence. We won't get into that.
I mean, I head to bed. I mean, depends. Now that we're open an hour later. Sorry. I'm in bed like by 11, but normally it was like 9:30. And
mine's like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I hit the bed about midnight.
Yeah.
Hope you don't hit too hard. That could hurt.
Too damn early.
It's like one of those really like super soft foamy ones. So I don't think you could hit it hard enough to hurt.
Perfect. Okay, that works. So
we love soft and fluffy.
We have memory foam.
Yep. We're the same way.
I mean, you married me. Of course you love soft and fluffy.
Oh, come on.
So on that note, anyway, back to the aliens. Now, Sarah, you were talking about the technology earlier. Now, my understanding, and I don't know the details on this, and I'm sure you're going to look them up, or you probably know them already, is the semiconductor chip. That was one of the major turning evolutions, and it happened literally overnight. It was just like, hey, Merry Christmas, here you go. Where the hell did that come from? I mean, we don't hear about who invented it. We don't hear about the research to make it. It just, ta-da!
Yeah, it did just kind of pop up overnight. And you know what else popped up overnight? The nanometer chipboards that we use for processors now. Did you know that there's only 5 machines in the world capable of doing it? Did you know that the process is so insane that I have no idea who could even conceive of this? They use something called ultraviolet light to liquefy a suspended drop of conductive material so that it falls onto the chip in a or like basically they can pass a chip through the suspended liquid in a specific way so that it solidifies onto the board. Like, it's just, and there's only one company that makes the machines. Each of the machines costs like $150 million. And it just, but that's why they're saying that they're not going to be able to make devices smaller. We've hit another limitation. So initially we used the vacuum tubes, right? And then we got transistors. You know, in a world where transistors were never invented, that's referred to as steampunk, by the way. An imagined world of what society would look like if the transistor had never come along. And it's really cool. If you're not familiar with it, look it up. But yeah, the transistor just popped up overnight. All of a sudden we had this, like, I do not recall hearing anything in regards to the research going into it. And I was always fascinated by tech, you know, right. And then the switch to the new ones also just kind of popped up overnight. And I don't remember hearing about that. And now I have been hearing about humans doing research into organochips, biochips, right? They've been having a lot of success with that, but this is a process that's well documented, right? And right. You would think in an era of information, the one for the ultraviolet, like super tiny ones and everything, would be a little more documented. Same for the initial transistor.
Exactly. And I mean, these things came out of nowhere. And so, you know, you have to start to wonder, it's like, okay, why did we make these advancements? Is this necessary for the next evolution or for whoever's taking over, whether that be aliens or AI or whatever? You know, we weren't moving fast enough for their terraforming, for their plans. Like, okay, here, give them a cheat sheet because obviously they're too stupid to make it up themselves. So, Merry Christmas. The microchip was born. And the nanometer chip. Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've heard about that. And bye. We lost Braden. He got beamed up. Shit, they
His
stole
internet
Braden.
does that sometimes. He'll be back.
Okay. I thought they just stole Braden. Like, yep.
There's no, shit thrown to us.
It sucks when we're playing Helldivers, though, and that happens. He just randomly DCs.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's a lot to think about.
Right.
And on the flip side, are humans simply an evolutionary step to machine intelligence?
Right. We're just the workforce to make them. Maybe we are the birthing. We're like the, what do you call it? The midwife for AI intelligence. Maybe that's our whole job, is we just bring it about.
Yeah, because there's entire species that simply existed to be an evolutionary stepping stone, right?
Right.
I mean, look at the early humans. You know, the proto-humans that first decided to start walking upright, you know. There's those evolutionary necessary steps. And if you follow the logic, if you are able to create a technology that can successfully upload consciousnesses.
Sorry, Mossy Man. I don't have my Discord open. When I do during a live stream, it freaks out on me. So I keep my Discord closed, so I do apologize. If you got comments, man, throw them here in the chat on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, good for checking, because
Yes.
scammers run rampant.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Evolutionary steps.
Right. If you understand that you're going to be able to create the technology to perfectly upload your consciousness into a body that can live forever, that makes sense, right? You would take that step as a species over time. Whether it might align with how you feel right now or not, the species would do that, right?
Right.
And
Welcome
that
back, Braden.
that would make the organics just another evolutionary step towards that machine intelligence, one way or another.
So yeah, it's pretty fascinating. You really start thinking about it, and then on top of that, if we want to go down the rabbit hole a little further, you take basically current political and everything going on in the world right now. How do you misdirect the major masses of people about that 10-year time frame of the arrival and all that? We give them a whole bunch of other things that make absolutely no sense to talk about. Here in the U.S., our president's like, oh my God, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. It's insane. That's what's dominating social media. I mean, we've got a guy running for president who's getting sued by like everybody for doing everything wrong. And, that's okay. That totally distracts us from what's going on out in the world. And so tell me there's not some kind of grand scheme going on here for something big that we don't know about.
Yeah, classic hide things with misdirection.
Right.
And hide them in plain sight. Oh my God. Do you know how much they have pulled off? The government has pulled off because they have done it in plain sight. And we just think it is, oh, okay. It's normal. We didn't pay attention.
Right.
The things and
so, and I just, good.
And they don't cause a big hullabaloo about it. And so we just don't recognize it.
Right. And something struck me really odd. It was kept very low key. And in fact, it just came across my phone, not on the main news that I know of, is that here in Boise, where I live, they are stopping 3 primary hospitals from delivering babies because there's not enough babies being delivered to keep those wards open. So they've shut down 3 of them for delivering babies. Shouldn't that be disturbing? I mean, that we're not being born quick enough to keep this stuff open?
It absolutely should. I've been telling people for years now that we have a population problem, and it's not overpopulation like everybody seems to think it is. It's underpopulation, and it's going to be a very big problem. The current human population, right, we will peak at around 9 billion in the year 2060. By the year 2100, right, you're going to see about half the current global population as the new global population. It is a problem. And the irony of it is, while modern civilization is to praise for extending lifespans, it's also to blame for the declining birth rates. When you have created an economic system that no longer allows the family unit to survive on a single income, you are forcing a situation where families can no longer afford to have kids. And so they're not. You are not fostering a society that people want to bring kids into. There is going to come a time where I will need to beg my daughter's forgiveness for bringing her into this world, because this world is going to shit.
It's not getting any better.
No, because of the way the monetary policies are set.
Right.
There is no getting better fiscally from a system that is created like this. It gets worse every generation. The only way to fix it is to completely tear down the financial system, the entirety of it, and rebuild a new structure, because you cannot have a form of currency that operates as both a medium of exchange and a store of value. Money needs to have an expiration date if you are going to use it as a medium of exchange. If it doesn't, and you also let it have a store of value, you are creating perpetual inflation, or your entire economy grinds to a halt. Those are the only two choices. There is no in between. So to make it work, you have to consistently create a continually growing worse situation for each generation, which is why every generation today can say, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the economy was better the generation prior. Out of every generation that's alive today, they can say that.
Absolutely. And and that's going to lead to the Armageddon. And that was the other A in today's show is, because I mean, we are definitely at a turning point. I mean, we've got Tweedledee Tweedledum running for president. We've got people that are rioting in the streets in some countries. Civil unrest. People are starving. Things aren't getting any better. There's no solution, and wars are more and more common nowadays. Like, okay, wars on TV, big deal. It's like second nature. It's like, that's disturbing. The fact that it doesn't affect us like that. There's got to be some kind of major uprising, or something has to happen, because we're pushing it.
Write this down, Wild Angel. If you have not seen it yet, go watch the movie Don't Look Up.
Ah.
I think I've seen that, but I'm not sure.
And it will perfectly encapsulate what we're talking about. Where, in regards to the way media is used and the way society is run.
It's all
and
propaganda.
how...
It's all propaganda.
It is. And nobody has any clue what's going on. Nobody does. They're all just trying to stay one step ahead of it and hope that the best that they can get is a heads up that something is about to happen, or that something is going down. Because nobody knows the whole picture, because everyone is in all these little encapsulated, I am a powerful billionaire or powerful person, little cliques that all have their own agendas, and they puppeteer the world. They buy your politicians. You don't have a salary in office of $120,000 a year and a net worth that consistently grows each year far beyond that. And you're worth millions of dollars. You don't have a career in politics like that if you're not bought, right?
Exactly. Yeah, because what are they saying right now? The presidency costs like $450 million or some stupid amount, but it pays like 100 and something thousand a year. It's like, wait, even for me, the math doesn't make sense, and that's bad.
Yeah.
Even the people that are creating the propaganda and causing it to happen don't know what's going on.
No.
Because they only have their little piece of it. And that's why a lot of times that propaganda doesn't mesh with each other. There's too many people putting out too many different things, which then again reinforces the confusion. So we're going to miss something big.
Yeah.
Or they're hiding in plain sight.
So let me jump deep down the rabbit hole on this one. So let's say, earlier we were talking an alien species. They create this virus. They're going to release on the planet that's going to terraform it for them. But they know that this virus likes to populate. And so what they're going to do is they are going to make sure that it's also hostile on top of it. So it's going to populate to the point it's overpopulated. Then it's going to turn violent and chaotic. And it's going to lie, cheat, deceive, steal, whatever it can do to help take control, which is essentially going to reduce its population, minimizing the amount of cleanup they have to do before they move into the planet. There you go. Problem solved all in one step.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a silica-based life form, you're not going to want to have to deal with cleaning up all the organics. So let them pollute it, so it kills off the ecosystem and all the plant life and whatnot, and bring all the metals to the surface for you. Let everything die and run off, and you're good to go. I mean,
there you go.
Humans. So we have the technology to actually turn off aggression in a human brain, right? Which also, interestingly, turns off a lot of traits that are considered negative. But it turns out that they play a part in survival and perpetuating the species. And if you turn off that, it affects those areas as well. But that can be, maybe at some point we get the ability to maybe just modify genetically or something that specific area of the brain, and then we could breed out essentially that particular aggression that causes greed, and we could have a completely different society. Imagine where someone likes working with their hands, so they help build the houses, and someone likes growing plants and they're more, earthy in nature, okay, so they help grow the food. Like a society like that
Go back
is
to
possible.
Middle Ages and pre ancient cultures, and they did that. People that were good at certain things did those things to support the society. It's when our egos and our greed got in the way. Eugenics again.
Well, think about it though. Is it eugenics or is it evolution for survival, adaptation? Because if there is a genetic flaw or a trait that will literally result in humanity's extinction due to the fact that, because we understand the concept of you and the concept of me, we also understand the concept of yours and mine, and yet for some reason we have greed. Maybe that played part in evolutionary survival in the early ages. The problem is our technology is advancing faster than evolution can keep up. So our technology is allowing us to have access to things that we as a species are not yet ready for, because we have not grown beyond the evolutionary traits that allowed us to survive in a world that didn't have certain levels of technology, like agriculture, right? Now, agriculture, it's not new, but it's been around for about 100,000 years, give or take, at least on recorded history. Evolution takes longer than that, right? You took a species that was meant to constantly roam, a hunter-gatherer species, and now you gave them sedentary lifestyles. That does not go well, right? It's like caging an animal. And that is why humans feel so restless all the time. That is why we constantly feel this yearning for more, right? Which we translate to more possessions, more money, more this, more that. We're trying to fill that need to roam because it's still an evolutionary trait that allowed us to survive. But the technology has now come along faster than evolution can keep up. And so maybe technology needs to help evolution along. And that's why I am for genetic modification.
Right. And so now that we covered a lot of things there, and I love what Britt says, better bring back survival of the fittest. Yeah. I just say remove all the warning labels from everything. Man, natural selection will take its course. No problem. Let's get rid of all the stupid people first. But, we've seen a lot of examples of these. Take Star Trek, Next Generation, where they went to that planet where they only did what they were meant to do, what they loved to do, whether it was painting or writing or whatever. And the whole society lived that way. And it was great, super peaceful and amazing. Then you've got the other side where you take the movie Serenity, where they tried to breed out chemically the violent genes, the part that created hostility, things like that. And that's how the Reavers were born. Everybody else just laid down and died. The whole damn planet laid down and died, except for I think it was 1%, which went totally the opposite way and went psychotic, started eating people. Yeah, there's always a few hiccups. It's okay.
Nom nom.
Exactly. Manam. Dun, 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 dun. Manam. Yeah, now we've all got that stuck in our head. Glad I could help. Thanks for coming. But you think about it. Yep, it's going all night now. There's been people talking about this, seeing this for decades, generations. And at the same time, we've never understood what the end game is. There's got to be a goal, an end game of something. What's going on? And you take all these different pieces, you start weighing them up. Too many coincidences. things are aligning too much to a destination, yet nobody wants to talk about the destination. And because it's not pretty. Plain and simple.
It's not, because it leads to extinction.
As
Exactly.
Ashley said, society is failing.
Right?
Yes.
Can't talk a lot about what she has seen, but
Ooh, I was
Yeah.
military intelligence. I'm truly scared of what is happening. Ashley, man, I could only imagine the little glimpses of the military world of what I know, the little bits and pieces and rumors and things, just like my brother in the deal on the radar scope, that kind of technology. There was so much out there we don't know about. The semiconductor was just popped into existence. No, it wasn't. It came from somewhere nobody tells us. And you know what? We're at the point now where the media, like we're talking, it blinds us. It distracts us. It's like, oh, okay, we're just going to slide this technology in and, hey, go look at the shiny object over here. Yeah, look at the monkey. And that's what they're doing to us. Yeah. We are absolutely, as a society, being distracted by the social media, which all of social media of the world is only owned by 3 companies. I mean, it's insane. You start looking and tracing back to the parent company. If I remember right, there's 3 parent companies that own every social media channel in the world. It's nuts.
So, while I may not have been in military intel, what I did have was the unlucky genetic gift of autism. And it gave me great pattern recognition. And my pattern recognition has led me early in life to the conclusion of what Britt just commented.
Right.
That is the destination. And I, in my youthful naivety, had assumed that there was still plenty of time, because I saw, how the world was. The world has shifted very rapidly in my lifetime. Very rapidly. Okay. I mean, Serenity during your lifetime. I mean, holy shit.
It's crazy. I go back and I watch movies from the 80s, and I remember the mentality, the emotions, the positivities. The world was very different. Literally, when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, that type of society cannot exist today. We've killed it. There was camaraderie. There was a lot of bullying, things like that. But you know what? There's a lot of fun in just having fun with your friends, with dancing, with listening to music. I mean, that was my life, and I loved it. It was great. Nowadays, if you're not fighting tooth and nail and grinding for something, then you're a failure. And yeah, what the hell has this world gone to? It's insane.
And it all comes down to the money game, right? Which, again, it's an unfortunate byproduct of consciousness. You don't see any other species on the planet having the same kind of issues we have, facing extinction for the reasons that they're facing it. Because most species facing extinction is facing it because of us.
Right. We did it.
And we will 100% be the avatar of our own extinction.
Right.
Plain and simple.
Yep. And now, do you think that there is I don't want to say higher power, let's say a more advanced consciousness behind this whole evolution thing? Or do you think it's just us, burning candle at both ends? What do you guys think? How about you, Crow?
Sorry, I was reading the comments.
Wait, you can read? That's new. How about you, Wild Angel?
I'm actually responding to Smiley.
Oh my God. Is anybody here paying attention? Okay, let me ask a question. Okay, everybody, focus on me. Hello. Hi, people. Okay, so everything we've talked about so far, I want to get each of your opinions. Do you think that there is a higher power, a more advanced life form who is guiding this entire journey for an end game we don't understand? Or do you think it's just human beings being idiots doing a self-destruct mode?
Idiots.
Oh, I think we're totally in a petri dish.
Both?
I think humans are the bacteria that is being bred in this petri dish to see what we do. I mean, we are a science research experiment for something bigger than ourselves. MIB, open the locker door.
Yes.
That is so us. There is
Yep.
something bigger than us. So,
All hail Jay. All
All
hail
hail
Jay.
Exactly. So,
that-
what do you think of that, Crow? You agree with that?
Personally, no. I think that we as society are just, like you said, idiots. You know, you put a human in a room with a button, big old red button that says "Do not push."
we're going to push it.
I'm slamming that bitch multiple times.
Exactly.
It's a button. It's supposed to be pushed.
Right.
Why would you build a button that's not supposed to be pushed?
Okay,
you're
that's
supposed to pull it.
movie A or Titan AE.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah. Oh, I built this thing in my sleep. I put a button on it. I want
Right.
to push it, but I don't know what it will do.
I love him.
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
up for my nap.
I didn't name that movie.
You, good girl. You get a gold star for that one. So, Braden, what do you think about that, buddy? What's your take on this?
No mute. No.
No mute. No audio.
Now.
Yes.
Yes.
Now
Yep.
we hear you. We heard
Okay.
Cyril too. Thanks, Cyril.
I wasn't muted, but okay. I just toggle the button and it works.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Don't push the button, man. We just talked about that. What the hell's wrong with you?
We don't know what the button does.
Right.
It's not working, so I press it twice and it works.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So what do you think?
So
bud?
I want to bring back something that Cyril said that about how artificial enhancements to the body could potentially be necessary to survive. I think that would just hurt us more because humans are really good at fixing structural damage, as in like bone breaks or anything like that. We're terrible at fixing emotional things, consciousness things, and other things like that. And I think if we added some external thing that went inside of us, like a muscle enhancer, say, to make us superhuman, I think that have more than just structural effects, more than just increased muscle mass. I think that it would mess with our hormones in our brain and just make us, at the very least, infertile, because nature knows way more than us, and it'd know we're fucking with this. Natural selection is king, and it's gonna take you out.
Shit.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm reading
She
the
spilled
I'm
something.
reading the comments as it's popping.
Yeah, me
up.
too. And guys, in the comments, let me know what you think. What's your perception on this? And so I want to hit the comments real quick. And one of the comments, Britt Header says, "Well, I'm Catholic, so that answers everything."
My condolences.
Go with God, my girl.
I was
Okay.
actually raised Catholic and have gone very opposite.
Oh yeah, I can attest to that. One.
Actually pagan now. So
Huzzah. Same here.
I think that's
Wasn't
about
raised Catholic, but
as opposite as you can get.
Exactly. And so Ashley says, Google RAF men with Hill. You'll read enough to know why I'm so skeptical. You know, it's interesting. Now, I don't know where Menwith is, but my brother was stationed at Mildenhall and Lakenheath. And for some reason, it reminds me of those two Air Force bases. So I will be doing some research on that, Ashley, because, yeah, I love to know that kind of stuff. It says, I completely love it, Rose. And I was raised no religion. Yeah, you were. You were raised at think for yourself, Britt. And that's a great thing. It's like I've taught my kids is, pick what you believe in. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you fall in love with a crayon, a plant, another guy, another girl. It doesn't matter to me as long as you're happy. And I think that's really the most important thing is find what works for you in this world. Because
yes.
we ain't got to survive anyway. Nobody gets out alive. Jason went to Catholic school too. Man, that explains a lot of the problems we have. Okay, we know who to blame. No, I'm kidding. Not picking on any religion, guys. I'm not religious. I'm very spiritual. So I think everybody needs to find their own viewpoint. But, it's really interesting how we get the varying perspectives up here just on stage alone. So I want to know you guys in the chat there. Share us what you think. And, Cyril, I'm pretty sure I know, I think you and I have pretty much dominated this conversation on our perception. So, Rose, I'm curious about yours. What do you think?
Honestly, it could be a little bit of everything at this point. You know, it just so much stuff. There's so much we don't know. And because of that, that's why I'm like, well, can it not be everything all at once?
I would
all
have
of
to
the
agree.
above.
A little bit of A, a little bit of B, a whole lot of C. 'Cause
Exactly.
that's screwed up. I agree.
And everything
So-
bagel.
Exactly, yeah. Put it all in. We call that nunya.
Yep. None your business
That's
what's
right.
in it.
Don't ask. You don't want to know. So, Cyril, now we've talked before about the 10-year time frame where the Mayan calendar's off by 10 years and all that. Do we know the year when it's really going to happen?
I used to. I forget right now. At the moment, I don't have access to like certain areas of my memory.
Happy Juice will do that.
Yeah.
So, should we start planning where we're going to be demised, what tropical beach we're going to be on when it occurs? Or do we get a little time yet?
Oh, I think we got a little bit of time. But it really
Go to the
depends.
mountains.
Yeah, mountains for sure. I know we've been eyeballing some properties to grab and then work on a, 5-10 year, whatever year plan to just kind of exit society.
You only got 3.5 left, man. You better speed that timeline up.
3.5.
I don't know, I'm just making it up.
3
So, and,
but-
yeah, good.
I forget.
Okay. And Jason says, I hate to say this, but if you don't respect others' beliefs because they're different from yours, you're respectfully an idiot. Jason, I agree totally, buddy. If you try to force somebody to your beliefs, your opinions, one, you're an idiot for trying, and two, you don't have the power or the control to try to change somebody's mind. Everyone is free to voice their opinions, their beliefs, and that's great. Everybody should have that right. But disrespecting somebody else because they don't believe the same thing you do, that's just stupid. That's rude. That in my book, to me, that's wrong in every way, shape, and form. So I agree totally, bud. And apparently so does Britt. Oh, comments are rolling in. I love this.
That's why
And,
I always say that, your beliefs are just that. They are yours. Just like my beliefs are just that. They are mine.
Yep. The only problem is if you try to force your beliefs or impose your beliefs or write a law about your beliefs and make it so other people have to follow them.
Right.
That's when there's a problem, and when I got a problem with said people, right? But other than that, dude, believe what you want to believe, follow what path you want to follow. Just the golden rule, right? Do what you want to do as long as it does not interfere with someone else's right to choose what they want to do, right?
Right.
Exactly. And, there's a great section of that in the book Illusions. I don't know if you've read that or not, but I want to catch up on the comment before I jump into that rabbit hole. So somebody says, I like what Surya said about being spiritual but not religious. Religion can take what we experience and can explain and then try to control it with flawed human rules and methods. Absolutely, Smiley, that's it. I mean, I've studied enough religion. I realize that there has been many translations, just the Bible alone, and it's a great bedtime story in my opinion, but it contradicts itself in every way, shape, or form. It can't happen. That's my opinion. Not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong. That's just mine. And I'm okay with that. I'm not going to tell somebody that you're an idiot for going to church. No, hey, if you find peace, if you find tranquility, you find purpose, man, go to church twice a week, 3 times. Absolutely. More power to you. Do what you feel is right.
Yep.
And Rose says, 100% J. Steen. And Ash says, with Catholic school, now I'm a human raising my kids to the best way they can be without fear of magic things in the universe. There you go. That's all we can do is we can raise them right. Unfortunately, no child I've had yet comes with an instruction manual. So I just do the best I can.
I actually got an A on an English paper about where's the instruction book or where's the instruction manual. I got an A on an English paper for that.
I think this one's broke. Can I take it back for a refund? It won't stop crying. Yeah.
Oh,
Ever taught me that completely buying into anything without really educating yourself about it is a bad thing. It is a bad thing. You're right. And yeah, the funny thing is you've even got to watch where you're getting the education from, because you got one guy saying, "Oh, this is right," somebody else saying, "This is right." This book says do this one says don't do that. Like, the truth is nobody knows. We're just all flying blind. And the people who say they're professionals, maybe they got a little more experience for it. Maybe they went to school for it for a while. But there are so many things that don't add up. Even Britt, I'm sure in your chemistry classes and your psychology classes, you're probably finding things that like, well, that doesn't make sense. They drew this conclusion, but from what? 20 years, 50 years? Yeah, but we've been around thousands of years? Doesn't quite make sense here, does it?
I do just want to point something out, though. And I do want to first throw out there that I could take about 30 minutes to explain why this next statement is true. But I won't.
Thank you.
Because I don't want to spend 30 minutes explaining quantum mechanics. But I will say that because we understand that certain laws of quantum mechanics are true, this statement will be true. If you can conceive of something, then at some point in time, that will be a true thing that exists. Okay? So just because somebody believes something a certain way, just because it may not be true to you now in this present space and this current reality that you experience, it is true somewhere else. And allow them to believe that. Because it is true because of what we understand about quantum mechanics.
I like that. And all the way around, that's really simple, is, let people believe it, because at some point in time, everything is possible. And I think that's one thing that we all need to do, is realize that we are capable of pretty much anything. Some things have consequences with them, so make your choices wisely.
Right.
And now Britt says, did you know she reached out to Richard Bach and had a conversation with him? Britt, that's awesome. I did not know that. So that is epic. And I wanted to point this out because this was in the book Illusions that I've talked about and I've given many copies out to. Sorry, you'd mentioned the golden rule earlier. You're free to do whatever you want as long as it doesn't harm someone else, right? Okay. So in the book, he actually writes this whole section because they were talking about that by the campfire. And so you've got the two main characters sitting there at the campfire, and this guy wanders into the campfire, says, "Hey, I'm really cold and hungry. Can I share your campfire with you?" They're like, "Yeah, sure, come on, have a seat." Guy had a real thick Transylvania accent, perfect Dracula makeup. And it says, I'm undergoing extreme suffering and pain, and all I need is just a bit of your blood to make the pain stop. Could I have some? And of course, the one character jumps up and starts fight or flight, saying, "No, I'm going to kill you, vampire." And so here's the trick to that golden rule, is that what you are doing, we don't always know will or won't hurt someone else. And so by not allowing someone to drink your blood, even though it will stop their pain and suffering and will do you no harm, are we willing to do it? So there are times when the golden rule simply doesn't fit, because we don't know what somebody else wants, what will make them happy. Do unto others as you'd have done unto you. Well, you want a sadomasochist to beat you to make you happy? No, that's what they like. So the trick is we really don't. We don't know what is going to hurt or help someone else. All we can do is the best we can, and try to be compassionate, try to be empathetic with your fellow man, and listen to him, talk to him, ask him, "Hey, will this help you? Will this hurt? Will this offend you?" Okay, well, if it does, I'm sorry, I'll go do it over here or whatever. And there's always going to be that conflict. So it's a very slippery slope.
Yep. And that's why if you want to get someone a present, you should just go to them and say, "Hey, I want to get you a present. What needs do you need met right now?" I guarantee you they will appreciate that far more than anything you could buy them from the store. I can guarantee it 100%.
+1. Oh, excuse me. And Wildness says, "Do as you will, yet harm none." You know, and that's the slippery slope too, Wild Angel, because just like in the book, is do as you will, try not to harm anybody, but there's always going to be some point in time somebody's got to get hurt, whether it's emotionally, it's mentally, it's maybe it's their pride. You try to help somebody to teach or guide them. Well, to do that, you're risking hurting their pride. So,
and some of it comes to intent, because you know, if you're attempting to help them in coordination with them, not just doing what you think they need, but like Cyril said, ask them, what do you need? And if you are honestly, truly attempting to help, yes, it comes to intent. And if the intent is to help and something backfires or something out of your control happens and there is harm done, does that really come back on you? Or does that come back on the universe?
You know, there's a saying, and I don't remember exactly how it goes, but something about the greatest tragedies of mankind were all caused with good intentions.
They were. Mm-hmm. And that's why, you know, if I asked you, Serenity, what do you need right now? And you said, I just need a day off. And so I tried to give you that day off. And because I gave you that day off, something while I was giving you what you needed, the crypto world exploded and you lost $1,000. Is that me causing harm, or is that somebody else causing harm?
That wouldn't be you causing harm, though.
Right. That'd be self-accountability there. That'd be, I done screwed up my own dumb self.
Right. That wouldn't be you causing harm, because that would be you giving them what they needed most at that time.
But
right.
There was still a repercussion of giving them that.
Maybe a better example would be that you gave me a day off. It's okay, cool. I'm going to take my car out. I'm going to get her washed and waxed. And on the way, I get into a car wreck. Now, I would not have been in the car had I not had the day off. I would have been at home and behind my desk where I belong. Right. And so some could say, well, see, it's all your fault. You shouldn't have let him out. No. And so it really depends on the perspective. And so it's so easy in society for us to say, it's their fault. It's their fault. It's their fault. It's that religion, that politicians. And it's all of our faults. Plain and simple, we all did fucked up because we let it get to this. So none of us are innocent. We are all accountable for some of it. Right. Plain and simple, we have to take that accountability. That's my brutal reality.
Agree.
So I just wanted to real quick rebut the argument.
Yes, I saw that. So, I knew you would.
Yes. I want to say right here, this is a hill that I will die on. You cannot expect other people's perceptions to be the same as yours, because everyone's perception of reality is different. Okay, so just because you think it's obvious that you have this need that somebody should meet, right? You can't sit there and be pissed because they didn't meet that or see it, right? Everyone's perception is different. It's not a matter of if he wanted to, he would. No, shut up with that nonsense. It's ask them, and because you need to understand your perception's different, right? So ask them, and then if they haven't been meeting a need, and you're in a relationship with them or even a friendship with them, and there's this need that you have that is not being met, you cannot be upset with them for not meeting this need until you have communicated it, right? So you need to be adult, use the words, and communicate it. If they then choose to ignore it, yes, be upset. Right? Then you need to evaluate, okay, why is this person not Okay. All right. Sorry. I see. All right. Sorry. I'll flip off the soapbox then. Sorry. It's something that gets me very upset because I am neurodivergent. And so when I see people talk like that, they're completely discounting anyone who has a brain that operates differently than theirs. And it,
this is a great example that we're talking right here because everybody's needs are different. Everybody's love languages are different. And I even read the book, The 7 Love Languages. And we've sat down and we've talked about, okay, what's yours? What's mine? And we had to decipher that. Sorry, 5 love languages. 5, 7. I think there's like 9 personally. That's just me.
There's a few. There's some sub languages.
Right. And the most important part is everybody has their own way of doing things. What works for Britt may not work for Cyril, may not work for me. I would never ask somebody, hey, what do you need? Unless for like a Christmas present. Because to me, Christmas is about surprise. It's about the fun. And that's where I would absolutely follow Britt's advice. Now, if somebody's moving into a new house, I would absolutely say, hey, what do you need? Do you need a vacuum? Do you need dishes? Do you need trash cans? What do you need? Let me help. I think it's dependent on the situation as well. So I don't think there's any one piece of advice that's accurate for anybody all the time.
It's not. I know that Serenity will ask me, because where I am working so much right now, it's what can I do? He's like, what can I do to make things work better for you?
Right.
And honestly, Serenity, I almost choked you a couple days ago.
Which time?
You'd been asking, what can you do to help? And I asked you to check the oil in my car.
Yes. And I told you no.
And he told me no, because then he would be the rescuer and would not, be taking it. And it was just one of those, something that popped into my head, something I'd been neglecting to do, that my car hadn't been sitting long enough to check the oil in my car. And I've got a blown head gasket. Mm-hmm. So oil is very, very important. Mm-hmm. And it was one of those that was like, no, this isn't me asking him to rescue me. It's like, it's just 5 minutes. And I was in the middle of making dinner when we had this discussion. So I was trying to make dinner, and my car had been sitting for a couple hours at that point. Perfect time to go check it, but I was busy.
Right.
And it was like, I was like, oh, I'm just going to stab you. I was chopping up stuff for salad.
Yeah, I almost died. And
I'm just going to stab you. Right. And it wasn't totally was not meant as a, hey, rescue me from this. It was quite literally, I've been swamped. My car hasn't been sitting. I keep forgetting.
There's the kicker right there. Right there. Tag, you're in. So, Britt, you'll love this rabbit hole.
In my brain, it wasn't a rescue situation.
You'll love this rabbit hole. So she's already said she knows there's a blown head gasket. She keeps forgetting. It hasn't been checked in a few weeks. She keeps driving everywhere. And yet, out of the blue, hey, why don't you go check my oil? I'm sorry? Do I drive it every day? Is that my responsibility? I don't think so. I will help you make dinner? Sure. I'll help you do laundry? Sure. Will I go take care of something you've neglected for weeks on end, knowing that it's falling apart? Hell no. That's rescuing. Sorry. No, that's where I had to draw the line. So I've learned that I am a codependent individual. I'm a rescuer by trade. Always have been. That's just the way I developed. So I've had to create these healthy boundaries, and in my mind, that crossed that healthy boundary. So even in a relationship, when I knew I could get stabbed, and it was very, very close, sitting there holding the knife like, seriously? Like, I'm sorry, honey, but I can't. That's my boundary. And I think that's real important that everybody realizes is we all have our own boundaries, but we've got to communicate them, and we've got to communicate why. People don't have to agree with them. They don't have to like them. They don't even have to acknowledge them. It's fine. I don't have to acknowledge their request either. That's my freedom too. We all have the power of choice. And in my perception, in my universe, the only power any of us truly have is the power of choice. We can't decide what happens to us. Oftentimes we can't even control our feelings when something does occur. We're going to feel fight or flight or rage or knee-jerk reactions. We don't control those. They happen. What we can control is how we react. So our choices and reactions are what we are accountable for. And so in that one, yeah, I almost died, and I knew that was part of the game. But I also had to make a healthy boundary, say, no, sorry, I love you, but no.
And luckily, because we had this discussion, it was at the front of my mind. So when I finished making dinner, I ran out and checked my oil. And so, but it did serve a purpose, and the conversation did cause my oil to get checked. Which, yeah, it needed 3 quarts.
It's a 4-cylinder car, man. It's 3 quarts low. Does that tell you guys anything?
It tells me it only had about 20% oil in there.
I have it's a seriously blown head gasket, and it's kind of limping along. And
and I keep forgetting. Well, when you're walking home, you'll know why.
Now, 2 things. The first one, I'll do first because it'll be the quick one. Are you sure it's the head gasket, or do you actually mean valve cover gasket so it's spitting oil to the outside of the block?
No, they put dye in my oil. And tracked it. And they said it was the head gasket.
See, I didn't do this, and so here's the trick. I am a certified mechanic, and I didn't put the dye in. I didn't trace it.
Tell me.
Right. So I haven't confirmed it by doing a block test or checking the exhaust pressure or anything like that yet. Biggest thing right now, because it was snowing. It's like, no, I'm not doing it in the middle of the cold snow.
No.
Now that it's warming up, I will be researching that for sure.
Yeah. All I know is what somebody at a shop told me.
Yeah.
I am at their mercy. I'm going to claim that.
Because, and Serenity, if you're a certified mechanic, that would also cause question for you, because a car with a bad head gasket like that would not still be driving at this point.
Yeah, it would have grenaded weeks ago.
Which is why I think it is a simple valve cover gasket, and they were going to overcharge you for a head gasket job, and a simple $14 rubber gasket. And
I even know how to do valve cover gaskets. I've done them.
Well, get out there and do it, woman.
Fuck you.
Ooh, I love it. This is violent.
Snowing.
So I will say real quick that at first, Wild Angel, at first I was on your side. Okay, I will say that. And then when Serenity spoke, the reason I was totally on his side, because that occurred between Rose and I last week. Or no, a week and a half ago. I had been saying for a while now, I don't remember your schedule all the time. I know you put it on the calendar, but sometimes I don't know what that means or whatnot. I don't know when you might finish your job early and be able to take the car in for inspection. So I've been telling her, just call and schedule it. I will take it in. I will make it happen. I will pay for it. I always try to pay for it. Handle it and whatnot. That way they don't try to tell her it's a blown head gasket when it's a valve cover gasket, right? That's why I handle that. But I had asked her to just make the appointment because she knows her schedule. So in my head, that was not a task I was going to do, right? And it kept not happening. Then she went like 3 months out overdue for inspection. And I was like, you gotta call him. Just call him. Set the appointment. I'll take care of it. Just call him. And she wasn't happy with me because it was a day that she wasn't having the best day already. And I wanted to just call and make the appointment for her, but it was kind of like a boundary that I just wasn't
right.
I don't know if I had to set, but
exactly. And
to be fair, I didn't have the information that I needed to make said call because I didn't know what shop. And I had asked you for the information once before to make said call, and you never gave it to me.
Well,
and when you gave me the information, I called that day, did I not?
I will say that when I had first started telling you to make the call, I had told you call the Meineke, right? Because that's where we had been taking them. And then at this point, it was so long later, I switched to a new car shop.
Change the
And
game
that's the
midstream.
information you had to get from me.
Absolutely, Wild Angel.
And
I
me,
just saw what you just posted.
Right. And
Yeah.
me, I just went in to have my oil changed, and it wasn't even on the dipstick. So they filled it up, put some tracer fluid in it, and had me come back 3 or 4 days later after it had, leaked out, or leaked wherever it's leaking, because there's not a puddle under my car. Not a big puddle anyway. Little puddle. But
I can explain that to you later. I'll tell you where it's going and why. No worries. And Smiley says, thanks, Serenity, for sharing your boundaries. And yeah, I've been working on that a lot lately, and it's so hard. Boundaries are hard.
They are.
And sometimes they can be violent. You can cause problems by creating boundaries, but you know what? Your mental and emotional well-being is worth it. Respect yourself enough to respect those boundaries, because as soon as you compromise on a boundary that you've set as a healthy boundary, now that's when you really compromise who you are for someone else. That leads to unhealthy mindsets, in my opinion. And apparently Britt agrees, says, we do absolutely have to set boundaries. It's real hard for me sometimes, real hard for some, and some have more than healthy, but boundaries are important. Yeah, and it's a fine balance. And those boundaries do shift from time to time, given different situations, different people. My advice, and I'd love to hear Britt's advice on this, is set one that's healthy for you, for each individual, because they're not going to be exactly the same. I'll do a little bit more for Wild Angel than I would for Rose. Nothing against either one. I'm just married to one and I'm not the other. So yeah, some things I'll do, some I won't. Anybody needs a organ? Not a problem. You can all have it. I got plenty. You probably don't want them. They've been through some rough times.
I can still sell them.
They're a little pickled.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, we'll make some money on this deal. So yeah, set the boundaries and respect them, because when you do that, you respect yourself, and that's the most important thing. You can't look yourself in the mirror, and you're doing something wrong. Time to change.
And you keep yourself safe with those boundaries.
Yep.
Sometimes we have to change our people, places, and things, or at least set really good boundaries to protect that.
Yep.
No,
Actually,
I've cut family members off like a bad habit because they could not respect boundaries that I had set.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to. And like Smiley was saying, interesting how we moved from aliens and Armageddon to marriage. Believe it or not, Smiley, they go hand in hand, because you screw up a marriage, it is Armageddon. And it's like you're married to an alien. I mean, yeah, psychos are us. Butcher knives are flying. Things get crazy. I've been there. It's not pretty. Yeah, it's like Wild Angel said, marriage can lead to Armageddon.
Totally. I mean, we've had our knockdown dragouts.
Right.
And, we've come out better on the other side because of our communication. Thank you, Britt.
Yes.
Our communication has come so far that I can sit here on stream and harass him about not checking my oil for me.
Yep.
And he doesn't take it personally. He knows I'm just flipping him shit.
Right.
So.
But there's some level of truth to it too. There always is. Anybody joking or teasing with you, there's always a swivel of truth to it. So, read between the lines. Don't take everybody at just face value. Always look a little deeper in anything you do in life. Social media, aliens, whatever it is. Always dig one layer deeper. Try to find out what the real truth is, because there's always some. Yeah, we've kind of been going on the merry-go-round today. This has been a good show. That goes pop. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, communication is definitely a big thing, and the longer you're with somebody, the better your communication is. Like Cyril and I here, April 1st, we will be together 12 years.
Woo!
And just sitting there thinking about how we were when we first got together, up until now, our communication at first, hey, it was great. It was the honeymoon phase, all that good, happy, fun stuff, a couple of years in, we're still doing great and everything like that. But yeah, you do hit that hard place when you realize that our communication wasn't as great as we thought. And then we worked on that. We worked hard on that. And now, you know, we communicate so much better. Yes, sometimes there are miscommunications. But now that we're aware that, you know, hey, we need to work on that, we do. And then it fixes it.
Yep.
Congratulations, guys.
Congrats. 12 years is a long time to not kill somebody. Trust me, I know.
And he married me twice because his dumbass didn't learn the first time.
Apparently not. I think you're smarter than that.
To be
So,
fair, it was a vow renewal.
You still did it twice, man.
Exactly.
Sucker.
Well, this second time around, October was 6 years. Love. Yeah, I booked it. I took a hiatus for 6 months and then came back because I realized I fucked up. And so, yeah, I understand the second time, you know, it was a stronger commitment the second time, more dedication to working on it and making it work. It wasn't the fun and games, and
It's blood, sweat, and tears.
it was.
And there was some blood involved too. We won't discuss it, but yes. And Braden said he's got a bail. Hey, Braden, thanks for joining us, buddy. Sorry you kept having technical difficulties, but always a great time having you, my man. Always welcome.
Have a great night, Braden.
Be safe.
And I want to back up because I think I want to make sure these are always fun. And so Brett says, I know that seems anti-ethical to hear earlier comment, but that was meant more jokingly. So I'm kind of worried. I gotta be honest. So this part of my healthy thing is I've got to voice my concerns when I feel the emotion. So I'm worried that Britt and Cyril, that maybe you guys think there's a little bit of friction there from the earlier statement stuff. Is there friction? If so, let's clear the air. Let's make sure there's none. Cyril's lost. Like, huh? What?
No, no, I'm saying I don't see any friction.
Okay. So, see, Cyril, you're like I am. Being autistic, we're both on the spectrum. We get very passionate. And the more passionate we are, we become, I don't want to say forceful, but we become very energized. And a lot of people take that as aggression. And it's really not. It's passion. There's a huge difference there. But when you're on the spectrum, they can come out very much the same way. And so, Britt, I want to make sure that, no, we're good. And I think Cyril's just being very passionate about his opinion. And you're a very passionate girl. I know that about you. And I respect that about you. I think that's awesome. So I think you guys are so much alike, it's almost scary in a way, because you are both very passionate people. And so I just want to make sure that that is known, that it's clear. We're good. We press on with pride.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Like, so when I'm speaking passionately about something, that's the only time, like, I'll speak with like a little bit of intensity, right?
Right.
But believe it or not, that's like the most intense or loud that I ever get. And I'm sure Rose can attest to that.
I love it when he gets passionate about stuff, because I call it his penguin pebbling, because he penguin pebbles information and things that he's passionate about. And I absolutely love that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that a lot of people don't realize is when you're on the spectrum, when you're a little bit different than most people in the world, it's very easy to be misread. And just like we are talking earlier about, just pay attention. It's like, some people are very hidden. Some people don't project what they want or what they think. Now, I know Wild Angel, Crow, you guys both know when I get passionate about something, yeah, I would walk through a brick wall, and I can absolutely punch a hole through it, no sweat, because you can't slow me down. Because the passion is so intense, so aggressive. People are like, oh my God, he's angry. No, he's not angry. He's just voicing his opinion.
And it can come across as sounding very aggressive and angry.
Right.
And so sometimes my gut reaction to that is to get the whole, I'm a fight, because I am a fighter. And so my instant response to somebody in my perception being aggressive is to get aggressive back. And so it can get kind of confusing.
It can.
And I have to
See,
remember.
I'm on the opposite spectrum of that. I either flight or fawn.
Say that again.
I'm on the opposite spectrum. Like the reactions and stuff like that. You have fight, you have flight, you have fawn and freeze. I am more likely to fawn, freeze, or flight. I'm not much of a fighter unless I'm fighting for someone else. Can't fight for myself, but I can sure as hell beat down for somebody else.
All right, she's on my side.
Right. Yeah, I will come out swinging. And sometimes I don't realize I'm doing it until after it happens. And somebody's like, whoa. So it can be kind of interesting.
It can be. And Britt says, I totally understand we don't know each other and you don't know when I'm joking and I don't always think before I say things, especially when I'm tired or multitasking. Britt, girl, we are the same way. I often say things and I spit them out and I realize I just swallowed my tennis shoes and I stop when about the shoestrings are left. So I'm like, damn, I gotta dig those out now. And that's like we're talking about before. And that's kind of the whole premise here is why would you take such an aggressive species with such a diverse mindset, drop them on a little tiny rock and expect that they're gonna get along? Yeah, right. Tell me that's not like some grand scheme to demolish the planet, terraform it so they can move in. We're going to kill each other off.
Like I said, we're a science experiment.
Mm-hmm. That's gone horribly wrong.
Wouldn't
We'll
surprise me.
we'll say hi to John. Glad you joined us, buddy. We're getting close to wrapping it up here. Sarah gives me passion I can't speak of. Ooh. We won't go there.
John.
And verbal communication is still only about 10% of the communication that we give. Words are only 10%. 90% of it's body language.
About 80, because you got the 10% of energy. Then you go to the paganism. Now we're back in religion. Oh my God, here we go down the rabbit hole.
Well, I mean, 90% of it is nonverbal, whether that be chemical, energy, body language, the umpty million other ways we communicate with each other without words.
Right.
So
Exactly.
only 10%'s words.
Yeah. And Britt says, I heard Cyril get passionate. And I was like, oh shit, I done did fucked up. Nah,
Great.
you're good, Britt.
Britt, I've only had to crack out the dad voice like 3 times. It's worse.
I use mine pretty regularly. In a real loud plant of like half mile long, I can break out the dad voice and Crow can hear me a quarter mile away. He's like, oh shit, I fucked up. His eyes get real big and he starts looking for a place to hide. Like, oh God, I'm going to die.
I've used the mom voice and I get payment within about a week.
It's not. See, my dad voice isn't necessarily about volume so much as tone and degree of pitch and intensity.
That's that way.
Yeah.
I just add volume on top of it. But yes, bellow, walls rattle from the bass. It's like, oh God.
When he
Just serving
gets
some
quiet, that's when we run.
I'll like drop my pitch, but I'll put more diaphragm behind my words.
Yes.
Yeah, see, everybody knows to run when I get southern.
Oh.
Y'all done did fucked up now.
Yeah.
All y'all's gonna die. Game over. I'm done playing.
Well, to be fair, you also come back from work southern, come off a phone call with any of your family members southern, and you're usually southern for about half an hour to an hour afterwards. So anytime during that, I have no idea if you're mad. I just kind of guess.
You've come on here, Rose, and when you've said hi, I've caught the southern big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I like the southern. What can I say?
Oh, Britt's got a superpower. She just does the mom
That
look.
mom look.
I like doing that to people. I just walk up and I stare at somebody I just keep staring and I don't blink. And I'm like, oh God. And then they start thinking, what did I do? You stand there long enough, they'll just start spitting shit out. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. It was an accident. That's what I thought. Turn and walk away. It's fun.
I like walking in and then everyone looks at you, looks away, and just kind of like does that. Maybe if I don't look at him, he won't yell at me.
Don't make eye contact. We'll be okay.
Yep.
It's the weaponized silence.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So,
Got a dad
Yes.
look too.
Oh, the
Yep.
one eyebrow raise. Oh, that ups at a level, Britt.
yes. Oh, that's evil. Yeah. Then you do the spot. Live long and prosper. See? There you go. Right there. Start training us for the alien invasion. So,
And my-
guys, about time to wrap this show up tonight. I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. We've kind of gone down the rabbit hole everywhere from aliens, Armageddons, marriage, counseling. Yeah. But you know what?
As usual.
That's why it's Freaky Friday. That's why we have so much fun. But Cyril, Rose, Braden, Crow, Wild Angel, thank you guys for joining us tonight. And if any of you want to join in with stage any of you want to be on the stage with us, thank you for coming. My name is Jam. Easy for me to say, right? Remember, the VIP family members who join the Discord get backstage passes, and they can jump up here at any point in time. And I also put special alpha and little tidbits throughout the family channel and the VIP family channel to keep you guys updated on things that are coming before I release them general public. So think about it. If you want to help support the channel and you want to get up here, have some fun, it's a guaranteed backstage pass every week. So I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight. You know, I've got to scroll up and I try to catch everybody, but I know I'm not going to. I know we had Abdul here. We've had Ashley, Brick, Levius, Smiley Girl. Thank you so much. Who am I missing?
Jay Steen.
Jay Steen. Yes. Sorry, brother. I know you snuck in, stuck out.
Manny.
There you are.
Or Moss's Manny.
Yes. Mossy Manny, thank you so much. And everybody who watches this on the restream, thank you so much for stopping in. I hope you enjoy this kind of conversations. And I'll put out a poll here shortly to let you guys know what we're going to be talking about next week. If you got some ideas, jump to the Down Home Crypto Discord and share them with us. If there's something you want to talk about or you want to know our opinions on it, hey, hop in. Let's chat about it, have some fun with it. So,
Absolutely.
make
We
sure
didn't
to
talk
tune
about
in.
food this time.
I know we
Chicken.
didn't.
Fried
And
chicken.
I've had a bag of Doritos and your favorite. Check that out. Ooh, there you go, Rose.
Yes.
It's waiting for
Oh,
you.
we didn't see Alpha Cruz. I'm mailing his box either tomorrow or Monday.
He did text me, said that he was having issues. He had to get some sleep or something. He might try to stop in, but
Fair
I'm sure
enough.
he'll watch the rerun on this. So we do
Yep.
miss you, Alpha. And everybody, Austin Clark, thank you guys so much for stopping in. Make sure to tune in next Thursday for Rags to Riches, where we're going to learn some new crazy strategic investing thing, or who knows, maybe the market's going to just go to the moon. I don't know. Oh, Cyril's thinking.
Or
He's got a
Crater.
plan.
Who knows?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Crater's good. Yeah. We don't know. Everybody, have a great weekend. Stay safe. Love y'all. We'll catch you next week.
See ya.
Yeah.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
guys.